Unit 6 is about exponents, and we will be doing lots of different things with exponents. We're starting with adding and subtracting monomials. So a monomial, mono means one, so it's just a single term. So it can be a constant, just a plain number. It can be a variable. And as you can see, just looking down already at number 2, sometimes the variables have exponents. So when it says variable, that can also be a variable with an exponent. So it's a constant, a variable, or a product of a constant and variable. So some examples could just be the number 5 or the number -17. So constants, again, are just plain numbers. Positive, negative, they can be fractions. It can be a variable, so we could have x. We could have y to the 4th power. Or it can be a product of those things. So 3x, 5x to the 3rd, 4xy. So you can have multiple variables, you can have multiple exponents, but a monomial means one thing. So the addition or subtraction that we're going to look at is what separates the monomials. So monomials with the same variables and exponents are considered like terms. And we did do a little bit of this in Unit 1 at the beginning of algebra. So this first part, the adding and subtracting, should look fairly familiar. So when we add or subtract, so if you look at number 1, we're taking 17x minus 25x. You just combine the like terms. You do not change the variable or the exponent. You only change the coefficients, the front numbers. So first we're going to do all the odd ones, and then I'd like you to pause and try all of the even ones, and then come back and check your answers. So for the odds, you start with 17 minus 25, which gives you -8, and then the x just comes along. All right, so again, you're just combining the coefficients, the front numbers. So number 3 already looks a little bit scary because you have a to the 3rd, b, c. But again, the plus sign separates this monomial from this monomial. So we're looking at those two things. They match completely. Okay, so the variables with the same exponent match completely. So you are just combining -15 plus 6. That's all you're doing for this. So you get -9, then make sure you write the variables exactly how they are. So a to the 3rd, b, c. Number 5 cannot be simplified. These are not like terms. You have AB and you have AC, so you cannot put those two things together. So you leave it like that. All right, number 7. It looks a little scary because of the fractions, but again, CD squared matches. So you need to take 2/5 minus 1/3. So those of you that have the calculators with the ABC button, you'll just type in 2ABC5 minus 1ABC3, or some of you have a fraction button. You should end up with 1/15, and then CD squared. Number 9, find things that match. We like things in alphabetical order. So we have 3y plus 4y gives us 7y. So you can cancel those out. And then we have 9z minus 3z. So 9 minus 3 gives you 6. So plus 6z. When you combine your like terms, if it's a positive, you put a plus sign. If it's a negative, you put a minus sign. Number 11, a lot of people want to just put all of them together because they're all W's, but they don't all match. We have W squared and W squared. Those are the only two you can put together first. So 13 plus 4 gives us 17W squared. Then we can put the plain W's. Positive 9 minus 31. Make sure you type it in correctly. 9 minus 31 gives us negative 22. So again, if you say the word negative, put a minus sign. If you have a plus sign and then a negative, it is going to be counted wrong. A plus, a negative just needs to be a minus sign. 13 says to find the sum, so that means you add them together. If you want to rewrite it, you would write 16y squared plus negative 5y squared. Now, since that is the problem, not the answer, you can have the plus negative, since that's how you would translate it. Some of you won't need to do that. You could just change that to a plus sign right there and do 16 plus negative 5 gives us positive 11y squared. The subtraction, you need to be really careful about what order you go in. Subtract 9a from negative 15a. So that means you need to start with negative 15a and then subtract 9a. A lot of people want to do it the other way around, but you cannot. You have to go in the order it says. So negative 15 minus 9 gives us negative 24a. So go ahead and pause the video and then come back and check through your answers for the even ones. Number 2, we have like terms. Negative 23 plus 6 gives us negative 17y squared. Number 4, some people think those just cancel out and you're left with 38. That is not correct. You can always put a 1 in front. If you don't have a number in front, you add a 1. So 38 minus 1 gives us 37x squared y. Number 6, mn matches, so negative 8 plus 9 is 1 mn. Now, math teachers don't like it when you put a 1 there if it's not needed, so I would prefer that you just put in mn. It won't be wrong if you have a 1, but it's good to get in the habit of not putting a 1. For number 8, a lot of people think those just cancel out because it's 25 minus 25, but this is a negative 25. So that ends up being negative 50 x to the 4th, y to the 3rd. Number 10. Most people like to put the b's together right away because that's what it starts with. I would prefer that you bring the 8a down first. We like to have things in alphabetical order. And then 12 minus 10 would give us positive 2b. Again, if it's a positive when you combine them, you put a plus. If it's a negative, you put a minus. Number 12 almost looks like everything matches, but only the 10 and the minus 1 match, m squared n. So 10 minus 1 gives us 9m squared n. And then don't forget to bring the plus 7mn squared down with it. 14, find the difference. Difference is subtraction. So 10x squared y minus 2x squared y. Make sure you put it in that order. That would give us 8x squared y. Number 16 is like number 15. From this, subtract this. So you have to make sure it doesn't say subtract this from this. Okay, so the wording is different from what 15 is, so you gotta be careful. From this, so you do actually keep it in order. Subtract negative 2cd squared. So if you want to put a minus negative into your calculator, you can. Otherwise, that changes to plus a positive. So our final answer should be negative 7cd squared. So when you add or subtract, you just need to match up the ones that are exactly the same variables with the same exponents. Combine your coefficients by adding or subtracting.